So, in the previous lecture we discussed distillation with total condenser. Okay. So, in today's lecture we continue our discussion on distillation with partial condenser. So, before we make this HXY diagram and put the coordinates of enthalpies of different streams, it is important that we understand the difference between the total condenser and partial condenser. Okay. So, in case of total condenser, we had this vapor phase compositions coming from the top plate Y1, and when it condenses completely, then we have a split and part of the liquid or condensate it goes back to the distillation column as a reflux. So, the composition of all three streams, okay, Y1 XL0, which goes to the distillation column, and the top product is the same. All right. There is difference between the enthalpy. So, the enthalpy of the vapor which reaches the condenser and the enthalpy of the streams which leave the condenser and the reflux, they differ by latent heat of vaporizations. All right. In case of partial condenser, what we have, that we condense only part of the vapor which reaches the condenser, which means we have the top product in the vapor phase and the condensate goes to the distillate to the distillation column as a reflux. All right. So, here we have to be careful that all three compositions Y1, YD, the top product, and XL0, which is the mole fractions of the reflux going to the distillation column, all three of them are different. Okay. And here the partial condenser works as a theoretical plate, because the vapor which leaves as a product and the liquid condensate which goes back to the distillation column as a reflux are in equilibrium. All right. So, with that overview in the mind, let us try to plot this HXY diagram and mark our different compositions here. All right. So, we are continuing our discussion on distillation with partial condenser. All right. So, we have this condenser, QC is a load here, we have the vapor from the top plate. So, we can say G1 molar flow rate, Y1 is the mole fraction, and Hg1 is the enthalpy. Okay. Then we showed schematically this separator. All right. So, we had the separator. Now, the top product which is withdrawn from here is the vapor. So, we have D molar flow rate and we have this Yd. Enthalpy is Hd, and this condensate, the liquid, it goes back to the distillation column as a reflux. So, we have L0, X0 and HL0. Reflux ratio as the definition is the same. This is L0 over D. All right. So, let us see the difference what we have here. We have X0 and Yd, and this is your partial condenser, which means that these two mole fractions, they will be on the tie line or on the equilibrium, because the vapor leaving here and the liquid here, they are in equilibrium. So, this partial condenser is supposed to be a theoretical plate, theoretical or equilibrium plate. All right. And this composition Y1 is, you can see Y1 is different from X0 and is different from Yd. So, there is a difference between what we had earlier when we had this total condenser. So, when we had the total condenser and we had this QC, then Y1, XT the liquid, and here we have this X0 the liquid phase or the reflux mole fractions, all X0 is same as XT, same as Y1. So, X0 same as Y1, same as XT. So, that is the difference here. None of the three compositions are same here. In fact, here we had the enthalpy HL0 same as HD. All right. But notice, make a difference here, enthalpy HD is different from HL0 by this latent heat of vaporizations. Similarly, this HD is different from Hg1 here, because there is a heat loss here QC. So, now we can plot HXY diagram for rectifying section with partial condenser. So, we have XY, here we have say this HV, saturated vapor enthalpy, we have this HL. All right. So, let us start with Yd. So, we have this line at the mole fraction Yd. Okay. Now, once we have this YD, let us mark HD and X0 with HL0. So, this two, first we have this tie line, this enthalpy here it is given as HD, saturated vapor enthalpy HD, and what here we have is X0 or XL0. So, X0 is same as XL0 and this enthalpy here is HL0. Okay. We can also mark this del D. So, that was our differential point here, equivalent to this Q prime, which equals QC plus HD over T. All right. So, this is what we had, this hypothetical stream which lives at this molar flow rate of D, but it has the enthalpy of QC plus HD by D. So, this difference point is fixed here. And first thing was note that here now we have to find this reflux ratios, which is defined as L0 by D. So, let us start with what we have here is the vapor phase compositions given at YD, HD points, and this is a tie line at XL0 and we have HL0. Now, we can connect this differential point with X0. So, notice here now this is what we have here, the first point will be now given as HG1. Okay. So, this would be the enthalpy of the vapor which arrives to this condenser. Okay. And first tie line here must make a note that this is a theoretical plate. So, we will call it C. So, notice the difference between the total condenser and the partial condenser. The first stage which we have marked on this HXY diagram, it represents condenser. It is acting as a theoretical plate, it is a partial condenser. In total condenser we did not have these situations. All right. Now, starting from here, now again this vapor phase will be in equilibrium with and the tie line here. Okay. So, that would be your first stage. So, what we have done here, we start from again YD, we draw this tie line XL0 which we have connected to the del D here, and then we have the second tie line which reaches here, this is now X1. So, we have X1 and here we have this corresponding to this we have this Y1. All right. In fact, this HD this should corresponds to we have YD here and then we have this mole fractions with this Y1. So, let us go back to one distillation plate here, tray here, in which the first vapor, the vapor from the plate number 1 leaves with this mole fraction Y1, and we have this liquid which leaves the top plate with mole fraction X1, and these two streams are in equilibrium. So, we have HG1 and here we have H1, all right, or HL1. Okay. So, same thing we have here, the first tie line which you have drawn represents partial condenser and the second tie line which you have drawn is a stage 1. So, again we can connect with this differential line and we can continue with our constructions here. Okay. So, the more important here is understanding the difference between the total condenser and the partial condenser through this. Now, look at the reflux ratios R. Reflux ratio definition is same as here L0 by D, all right, which is we can also define, if you recall, L0 by D as Q prime minus HG1 over HG1 minus HL0. Okay. So, to mark the same point, let us start with the fresh enthalpy curve here, HXY diagram. We have this HV or HG and we have this HL. So, this is your del D or Q prime and we have this YD. The first line, tie line, equilibrium line which we have drawn, this is C condenser, all right. This is X0 and here we have this HD and this is HL0 corresponding to this XL0. So, this is a mole fraction of the liquid going back to the distillation column, and when we connect with this, now we have first operating curve here. Corresponding to this xz0, now we get y1. Okay. This y1 will be in equilibrium with x1 mole fractions liquid. So, we have the first tray starting from here. Now, with this 1, we should mark this as Hg1. So, Hg1 we have Q prime and we have this HL0. So, this reflux ratio must be obtained from this segment here and here. Okay. So, notice the difference in the total condenser. We used to have L0 and D right from xt equal to yd equal to xl0 equal to y1. All right. So, the construction for partial condenser and total condenser is different. The first line is a condenser, partial condenser, theoretical stage. The second tie line is actually plate number 1, and then onward we have number 2, number 3, etc. And the reflux ratio which we are obtaining is the projection from here. The first this operating line which we have drawn from here. Take the projection, that will be Hg1 minus HL0. So, reflux ratio R is Q dash, which is here, minus Hg1, enthalpy of the vapor leaving the first stage. So, which is here, not here. Do not make a mistake. Very often we make a mistake here, because in case of total condenser we used to take the first segment or operating line which we used to obtain here. Here the first operating line starts from stage 1 here. Okay, so, Q prime minus Hg1 over Hg1 minus HL0, which would be this HL0 here. Okay. So, with that we can construct this HLXY diagram to have the two scenarios. One was partial condenser and the second was total condenser. Okay. So, the difference here between that, if number of plates here we have n, then in case of partial condenser we have one more plates representing this condenser, because this acts as a theoretical plate. The two living streams are in equilibrium. All right. So, this completes our discussion for the first part of the distillation column, top part, which we call it rectifying sections. Okay. So, the feed enters at a certain plate, and all the plates, all the segments, section above the feed plates, all we have this rectifying sections, and underneath we have this stripping sections. Okay. So, whether we have rectifying section or we have stripping sections, at any section we have the vapor leaving the tray going up and the liquid trickling down here. Then we made the enthalpy balance. We took one envelope which intersects at any arbitrary location of the plate n, and then we said that the difference between the liquid and the vapor, it is constant given by this d. Similarly, the enthalpy difference between the liquid and the vapor is given by this Q prime. So, we have incorporation of this condenser load to the enthalpy of this living product. Similarly, for the species balance also made similar, and all these three streams which we have, liquid, vapor and this top product, whether it is enthalpy or whether it is species, it falls on one straight line. So, we are applying mixing rule. So, the similar approach we should be able to do it for a rectifying section. All right. So, in the rectifying section we have the similar story, the liquid which trickles down, now it comes to a boiler, where part of this liquid is vaporized and sent back to the distillation column. So, there we have this liquid reflux, and now we have here is vapor reflux, okay, and the product which comes out is a liquid. So, notice the difference, that here all the time we have this boiler which is also going to act as a theoretical plate, because we have the liquid as a product, and the part of this liquid which has trickled down from the bottom plate NP has been vaporized. Okay. So, we have similar situation, vapor and liquid leaving, we assume if it is ideal, no 100% efficiency, they are in equilibrium, the mole fractions or the coordinates will lie on this equilibrium of the tie lines. So, for the rectifying section all the time we have this situations what we had in case of partial condenser for rectifying sections. All right. So, again here also we will make an enthalpy balance, we will make a species balance, we will make a total balance, molar flow rates, to mark our points for all salient points in this stripping sections. So, let us start this stripping section. So, this is bottom part of this distillation column underneath this feed plate. So, we have this column like this. This is the last plate. Okay. So, this plate is NP, number of plate is NP here. So, and feed, so let us enter here F. So, we have ZF mole fraction, we have HF, all right. Any arbitrary plate here in the distillation column we are representing with M. So, the nomenclature which we use for rectifying section was N. Here we have M for our convenience, all right. So, M, so we have counting is still we start from the top 1, 2, N and continue with this M, and the last plate is NP. So, we have this envelope here and we have this envelope here, all right. So, we are looking at this bottom part here. Now, if we choose M here, the vapor which arrives has the spec Gm plus 1. So, we are doing the counting from, so there is another plate here, you can call it, this is the last plate which we have drawn here in NP. So, Gm plus 1, Ym plus 1 and we have H Gm plus 1, all right. The liquid which leaves this mth plate and trickles down to the bottom has a spec Xm, Lm, HLM, all right. So, we are following the same nomenclatures that all this suffix or subscript, they represent the trace from which the vapor or the liquid originates. Okay. So, if the last NP, then we have the G NP plus 1, Y NP plus 1 and here we have H G NP plus 1. The liquid which trickles from the bottom plate has LNP, XNP and we have HLNP, all right. So, this is what we have done now. We can take this hypothetical, the section here like this. This liquid which drops from the bottom plate, trickles, goes to now a boiler. So, this boiler we gives energy QB, heat, calorie per second. Part of this liquid is removed as this bottom product. So, W, HW and we have this XW. And part of this liquid is vaporized to send back as a reflux. So, notice this reflux is vapor, unlike in the top section or rectifying section we had the reflux as a liquid. So, this is boiler, and as per our discussion this vapor can be this vapor which leaves the reboiler has the same specs as this vapor which arrives the bottom plate NP. So, it is the same, all right. Only thing this vapor is in equilibrium with this liquid. So, XW and YNP plus 1 they will follow on the same equilibrium curve. That is why this last plate is also a theoretical plate. So, by the default reboiler in a distillation column we have this theoretical plate, one plate extra, like we had in case of rectifying section where we had the top where we have condenser, if it acts as a partial condenser then we had this theoretical plate, one plate extra. Okay. So, now we have taken this envelope, all right, just underneath this mth plate and it intersects here. So, we can make the 3 balance total molar flow rate balance, which we can write as Lm equals Gm plus 1 plus W. So, Lm is this stream equal to Gm plus 1 equal to W, and we can rearrange to write Lm minus Gm plus 1 equal to W. So, I can try to make an analogy. What does it mean? Lm minus Gm plus 1, L1 minus G2, L2 minus G3. The difference of the molar flow rate of the liquid leaving this tray and the vapor reaching that plate is a constant, same as W. Okay, you can compare this with Ln Gn minus 1 and the top product which was D here. So, this is going to give us a difference point for this bottom column. We will mark that. Number 2 will be your species balance Lm Xm minus G m plus 1, y m plus 1 equals w and xw. So, it is a species balance for the more volatile components A or B, whatever you have. Third is Lm HLm minus Gm plus 1 Hg m plus 1 equals W HW, but now we have minus QB, or you can bring this QB on the left hand side to convince yourself that in this reboiler, right, this is your boiler or reboiler, we are giving this energy of QB. So, this is our energy balance here. So, we have total balance, we have a species balance, and we have this energy balance. This W, and every time we are writing this right hand side as a constant. So, that is what the difference point is going to give us, WXW and WHW minus QB, which can be rearranged to give WHW minus QB over W, and similar to this we can call it W Q prime. So, this compare, the previous one we had D and we had this Q prime, which included minus of this QC, or in here we had this plus of QC. So, again this is hypothetical stream leaves this envelope with the molar flow rate at W, but it contains a energy of Q dash to incorporate the heat energy or boiler which you are giving to this QB. So, this unit is calorie per second, calorie per mole, and then you have enthalpy calorie per second for W, and SW you have calorie per mole to make it calorie per second. So, this is a rate of stream, hypothetical stream, which molar flow rate W leaves with this so much of energy. So, with these three equations we can again simplify, or we can rearrange to write Lm over Gm plus 1. So, it is the same similar expression we obtained for the top column. This would be your internal reflux, if you call it. We had external reflux R, this is like internal reflux, Lm vapor liquid, liquid molar flow rate, which trickles down to Gm plus 1 at any locations, which moves up. So, the ratio of this is internal reflux similar to Ln over Gn plus 1 we had earlier. This will be equal to m y m plus 1 minus xw over xm minus xw. And similarly, from your energy balance or your enthalpy balance, we can write Hgm plus 1 minus q double prime over HLm minus q double prime. We can also eliminate Gm plus 1 from the total molar flow rates to make it Lm by G W. Okay. So, this is equivalent to your R equal to L0 over D. All right, we had the counting from the top 1, 2, 3. So, we had this L0 internal reflux, the external reflux, the liquid which goes inside the column to the product which we remove from the top. So, similarly, here we have Lm over this W, okay, and Lm over W one can write like H G m plus 1 minus q prime, q double prime over H G m plus 1 minus HLm. So, it is a general HLm. This can be written as y m plus 1 minus x w over y m plus 1 minus xm. So, in this m if you put Np plus 1, all right, or you put Np, the top and bottom plate, you will get Lnp over W or L1 over W or L2 over W, etc. Okay. So, all we have done, again we are able to identify our difference points, the difference between the liquid and the vapor. This difference is constant with this what leaves at the bottom of the column. So, similar to xd, now we have this wxw, they go with q prime. Earlier we had q prime with wxd. Okay. So, now we can draw hxy diagram with this. So, we have this xy, we have this HL saturated liquid enthalpy, and we have this HV and HL. So, now we are starting from here, all right. The mole fractions of more volatile compound is small here, right. We have the distillations, feed enters here, top product rich in A. So, we have YD or XT very large, say 90%, 95%, and the bottom product it is lean in more volatile components. So, we have this XW very small, all right. So, if A is more volatile components, then B, this stream bottom product will be rich in B and lean in XW. So, we are here, and let us mark this point. So, we take this as XW, okay, and here we have again let us draw next to this, we have this distillation column, we have this boiler, this is XW, and the vapor which goes into this, it is in equilibrium with this XW, we call it Y NP plus 1. Okay. So, if this liquid which leaves is saturated, here we have this HW, all right, and then this liquid is in equilibrium with this vapor. So, we can draw the first tie line. This will corresponds to G NP plus 1, okay, or corresponding to this we will have Y NP plus 1. And on this XW, the more important is now your difference point del XW, or you have Q double prime. So, we have this Q double prime equivalent to HW minus QB over W. So, this is a reboiler load equivalent to this QC which we had for the top columns. So, we can mark this point here. Once we have marked this point here, now it is easy to draw. First line which you have drawn, again we can put B. If you recall, B is equivalent to your C there. The first, this reboiler acts as a theoretical plate. So, this is a theoretical plate, and the first plate of the bottom column or NP starts from then onward. So, the first tie is always B tie line, and one we have drawn from here to the difference point, all right. We draw like this different point, this will from this. Now, you can take another tie line, that line will correspond to now NP. So, notice the difference, we started from this way, we had the first tie line for partial condenser, that was C, and then onward whatever we had 1, 2 etc., we reach NP here, okay. And once we reach NP here, then again we can keep on reconstructing this point. Now, NP which correspond here will be now correspond to LNP, okay. So, again if you take the bottom plate which is NP, the vapor which reaches here is Y NP plus 1, and the liquid which leaves here is X NP, and they come from the operating line, okay. Vapor which reaches here leaves this plate, that would be in equilibrium with this. So, we have the operating line and we have this tie line. So, that is what we are doing here, tie line, connect this to difference point XW, then connect to this NP, we get this LNP here, all right. So, again we can continue with this GNP plus 1, we have GNP, GNP minus 1 from this side, as well as we have done it from this side here, all right. So, let us quickly summarize what we have done in today's lecture. So, what is today's lecture is we started from top column, we did the discussion for partial condenser. So, partial condenser is a special case where we have this vapor, top product is a vapor, and it is in equilibrium with the liquid or the reflux which goes back to the distillation column, all right. In case of bottom column or the stripping section, right, all right, we have this boiler. So, boiler always acts as a theoretical plate, at least we assume it is a ideal 100% efficiencies. So, in this case all the time the liquid which we are withdrawing, the bottom B, the vapor, this liquid phase is always in equilibrium with the reflux vapor which goes to the distillation column. So, the bottom this boiler is always a theoretical plate. Okay. So, with that mind, again if you choose any plate M, in this stripping sections, and you look at the liquid which trickles down and the vapor which goes up, the difference between the two, molar or the species A or the enthalpy, is always conserved and same as your the bottom product, which is living D with Q double prime energy, but that Q double prime incorporates or includes boiler load. So, once we mark this difference points, then we can draw all the operating lines, right, at any sections, NP, liquid going down, vapor goes up. What is the connection between the vapor phase compositions, liquid vapor compositions, enthalpy of the vapor, enthalpy of the liquid, that will come from the operating line. Tie line will give you the vapor leaving that plate with the liquid leaving that same plate. So, the tie line will come like this. So, one can do the constructions for both the rectifying section and the stripping section, starting from here and from there. And what is the missing now is the species balance or the energy balance or the total balance for the entire distillation column. And remember, we said that just one mixing rule we are applying all the time for the top column and the bottom column, either for the species or for the energy, to show that the difference remains the same. That means the 2 points A and B will give rise to C, or from C if you extract A or B, it will give you the other components, and all these 3 lines will lie on a straight line. So, that is why we have x w here and we have x b, the origin, and from x b you can draw all the operating curves. From x w, x d also you can draw all the operating lines, etc. Okay. So, what happens if we make a balance with one incoming is a feed F, and we have the top product D and the bottom product B, or we have XF, we have XD or YD, and we have XW here, or we have HF energy, HF which you are giving, which feed carries with it, and what we are leaving is Q prime, that includes your condenser load, and we have Q double prime, that includes your boiler load. So, if you make the energy balance or the species balance, you should be able to appreciate that again this F coordinates for F, whether species or the energy, and those for your top product and the bottom product will lie on a straight line. So, if you connect XW with XD with XW, you should appreciate, you should note that F feed has to lie on this straight line. Okay. So, with that overview, again we can make this energy balance or enthalpy balance for the entire column. So, now we have this complete fractionator. Okay. So, what we have is F equals D plus W, all right. So, this is what we are saying, that now we are making an overall balance. F enters here and we have this D, and here we have W. Okay. So, we have Q dash and Q double prime. This Q dash includes QC and Q double dash includes your QB, except one is negative, one is positive, one is a boiler, one is a condenser, and here we have F and HF. We have XW, we have XD, or we can have YD also, depending upon whether it is a partial condenser, the product is vapor, or we have the total condenser, and here we have this HF. So, we are writing F equals D plus W, F ZF. Again we use this nomenclature for ZF to say that whether this could be total liquid, XF, or this could be YF, or this could be a combination of liquid plus vapor mixture. So, F ZF equals D ZD, again ZD has either YD or XD, plus W XW. We can also write F HF. So, total energy in is total energy out D HD plus QC, which we call it Q dash, plus W HW minus QB. So, make a notice here, plus QC and minus QB, this energy which goes into the system, and this will also be, we can write it as D. So, Q dash, and we can plus W as Q double dash. So, F HF D Q dash W Q dash, F ZF D ZD or D XT Y XW, F equals D plus W. So, now we can construct our enthalpy for the entire HXY diagram for this entire distillation column. Of course, we have done for the top column, top part, rectifying section, and the bottom stripping section separately. All we have to do is just to connect. So, first if we start from here, suppose this is your ZD here, which could be YD or it could be XT. All right, let us go with this total condenser XT here. We have this HF, saturated vapor, and we have this saturated enthalpy curve here. We can mark this as del D. This del D is HD plus QC over D or Q double dash. Okay. And similarly here we have XW, okay, and here we will have del W point, which is equivalent, which represents HW minus QB over W, okay, and we call it Q double prime. And then we started drawing this curve. So, first we have this operating curve Y1, or we call it G1. Similarly, we connected with this, So, we have X1, then we have this Y2, then again draw the tie line, again this connect with this, you can keep on marching. Similarly, here we can also go with the bottom, this is a boiler, so tie line, this will be YNP plus 1, connect with this difference point del W, then we have another tie line like this, which would be YNP. So, all GNP plus 1 GNP, or we can go with G1, G2, Y1, Y2, X1, X2, etc. Now, if we connect this XW and XW, this is what we are trying to get here, right. F feed coordinates and D coordinates and W coordinates, they have to lie on the straight line by mixing rule. That means, if we know the feed composition, let us say ZF, right, this has to lie on this straight line. This should be the enthalpy of the feed HF if you are drawn like this. Okay. So, all we have done, we have started with the left, which is your stripping section, rectifying section, or we can start from here, which is your stripping sections. And if we want to mark this feed, then feed, if you know the composition of feed, enthalpy of the feed, this has to, we can draw a straight line between the two, realizing that we are applying mixing rule here, it has to be a straight line. We can get the feed compositions, or if you know the feed compositions, then we can mark this enthalpy line. Feed can be saturated liquid, it can be saturated vapor, or it could be a mixture of this, or feed can be cold, right, it's all possibilities there. So, the feed is here, that means this line has to be drawn from here, and this point what we have Q dash prime, it has to move downward. Idea is that all these three F, D, W, they have to lie on the same straight line joining between this and this. Let us do it again here. So, we have this HXY diagram for the complete distillation column. So, let us do it one more time, maybe slightly different way. So, we have XY, we have HL, we have HV here. Okay. Suppose we know this del D points, all right. And how do we know? Of course, we can take the reflux ratios. That means this ratios by this ratio is your R del D minus G1 over G1 minus, or G1, you know, del D, this segment, and we have this segment G1 in D here. So, let us say this is your D here. So, this is XT, maybe this top product is cold. So, it does not lie on, not necessary it has to lie on here. So, it is XT, the enthalpy is given here H here, we know the reflux ratio. So, we can take the two segments, one segment here, one segment here, we can mark this del D points, all right. Now, let us say that the feed composition is known to us. So, we take the and feed is saturated liquid. So, we mark this XF and we mark this HF. All right. We can always go from here, we can take this first tie line, we can connect with this second tie line, we can connect with this, and we can do extra, y1, y2, y3, etc. Suppose we know HF and XF. All it means, if we connect this point here, we connect passing through this, then this has to lie, and wherever it intersects with XW, this has to be your del W points. All right. So, this is what we are trying to say here in the previous slide here. This is Q prime, this is Q double prime. All these 3 points, feed and XM, they have to lie on the straight line. So, if we know this point, we know the feed status, enthalpy at this, we connect this, bring to this XW, this point will be Q double prime. Maybe from here we can calculate boiler load. Or if we know the boiler load, we can mark this point, and we know the feed, we can draw like this, and wherever it intersects with the vertical line going through this XT, we can calculate Q dash. From this we can get condenser load. One can also start from here, connect with this difference point, another tie line like this, and we can again march NP plus 1 to NP. So, we have first 1, 2, 3, etc. to cover from this way or from this way. All right. So, this is your complete fractionations for the rectifying section. For the stripping sections, you must understand the degree of freedom, right. The problem can be rephrased in so many ways. In some cases condenser load will be given, some cases your boiler load is given, okay. In some cases maybe the feed is given, you are supposed to find the condenser load. So, one has to make this property of this enthalpy balance or species balance or the mixing rule to realize that, to mark this difference point of del D and del W and the F. You know the 2, you can find the third. If you know the reflex ratios, we can find del D, and if you know the feed, we can connect this to get del W, and we can do the calculations. Okay. So, everywhere at any plate, any segment, whether it is a top section or the bottom section, one has to make this enthalpy balance, species balance. One should make use of this property of this mixing rule to identify each and every points, and then depending upon the type of problem, one can address different condenser load, what is the condenser load given the reflux ratio, what is the boiler load, etc. Or if you know the condenser load, boiler load, we know the feed composition and the distillate composition or the bottom product composition, what is the reflux ratios. We draw all these lines, take the ratios of those 2 segments to get the reflux ratios. Okay. What we do now very shortly is the reflux ratio itself. Reflux ratio, as we said earlier, is defined as L0 over D. Okay. Now, what happens if you increase the reflux ratios? Okay. So, you have your condenser, part of this condenser, or so let us say we have total condenser. So, entire vapor is condensed. Okay. Now, you have the liquid product, how much fraction of this you should send back to the distillation column, and how much product you should be withdrawing it. Okay. So, what happens if we change the reflux ratios, and or is there any limit, if we keep on increasing the reflux ratios, or if we keep on decreasing the reflux ratio, is there any 2 limits here? That is why we are going to address now. Now, look at this. If you increase the reflux ratio, that means the liquid going to the column is very large. Okay. So, if you have larger liquid going to the column, condenser load is a lot, it increases. Okay. Now, the liquid goes down to the distillation column is large here, that means it will put a load on this boiler as well. Okay. So, we will like to locate how does the del D and del W, it moves with this increasing and decreasing reflux ratios. Okay. So, let us address this here, that what we have is the reflux ratio. Okay. So, let us redraw this curve again. We have this Hg and we have this HL. Now, we have this del D, this point here, and we said that let us say the feed is or the top product is saturated. So, this will be the ratios are as L0 by D, and what happens to this ratios as Ln by Gn plus 1. All right. Similarly, here we have also this ratios of Lm over Gm plus 1. Okay. So, we have this del D, we draw like this, we have this xw, we have this del w, and then we can draw say arbitrary line here which is say Gm plus 1, we have Lm, we can draw arbitrary line from here, let us say we have Gn plus 1 and we have this Ln, this is xt here. Okay. Now, if the reflux ratio increases, you can notice that this point will move upward. So, that is the locus. So, if del D moves upward, f is fixed, right. So, let us say f, hf and zf is fixed here. Now, if this point moves upward, you can see that del w point has to move downward, because it is a 3 f d and w, they have to lie on this straight line. So, all it means, if this ratio increases, this ratio will decrease. So, the load Ln increases on the condenser, we are taking larger reflux here. So, load on QC or QC increases here. Now, if this ratio increases, this ratio is decreasing, you can see that Gm plus 1 increases. That means the vapor load on the reboiler also increases, right. So, all it means, we can write here that if the reflux ratio R L0 by D increases, QC as well as QB will increase. So, load increases, just mark, follow this W, keep the F fixed and increase this del D reflux ratios. So, in that case del W will also increase here, all it means Ln is increasing and Gn plus 1 is increasing here, in which case we have QC and QB increasing here. Now, what happens to the number of trays? All right. So, number of trays, if you recall, we had stages like this, we connected with this second stage, all the tie lines, equilibrium line which we have drawn from this, see from the operating curves, wherever it intersects, we have drawn those equilibrium curves. Now, if this point moves up and this point goes down, you can see the trend of this stages or tie lines which you have drawn, it becomes vertical and vertical. All it means that you will number of trays, you can show that, you should plot it and convince yourself that number of trays will decrease. Otherwise, also think of from the mass transfer point of view, that if you increase the reflux ratio, the driving force between the gas between the vapor phase and the liquid phase increases and we have less number of trays. So, there is always a cost consideration here. If we plot reflux ratios, because of QC and QB, the cost will increase, but however the number of trays, fixed cost will increase and there is a some kind of optimum here. All right. So, we have, of course, we have not defined here what is our maximum limit here and what is the minimum limit here, but looking at this curve or the locus of del D going up and del W going down, you can think that at a very extreme under very extreme conditions, when this del D is very large, all these tie lines will become vertical. All right. So, if you plot this for very large reflux ratios, which we will call it infinite reflux ratios. Okay, so, we have this Hg, we have this HL, all right, and if we increase the reflux ratios, this point is fixed at xt, this point is fixed at xw, this coordinate, and if we increase your del W, del D and del W like this, then all we have at every place we have this vertical, see operating line has to come from plus infinity. Similarly, here we can have line like this, then we have this, then we have this vertical. So, all of this is coming from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. So, this gives us reflux ratio at reflux ratio tends to infinity, we have essentially minimum number of plates. And under these conditions, when we have this operating line going vertically upward, all right, one can also calculate total number of plates analytically. In this case, I leave this as an exercise. One can show that minimum number of plates at infinite reflux ratios equals 1 minus x w here over x w over log alpha average. So, if we take constant enthalpy, constant relative volatility, constant relative volatility, one can obtain this equation analytically for minimum number of plates at infinite reflux ratios, and this equation is called well known Fensky equations to calculate minimum number of plates at infinite reflux ratio. Another extreme case would be when we have this minimum reflux ratios. So, when we have minimum reflux ratios, now let us redraw this HXY diagram again and follow the locus of this del D and del W points. So, we have this xt and here we have this xw. Now, we are connecting the 2 points del D and del W through this, passing through this f. So, the first case was when we increase the reflux ratios, this point goes up. Now, what happens if you decrease this reflux ratios? So, now we have this line will go like this and this del W point will move upward. Now, in this case what happens? There is a possibility that the line which you are drawing here with del D with this del W passing through this f, it might coincide with this tie line, all right. And if that happens, then the driving force is 0 and you have infinite number of plates, okay. And this very often it happens like this when the tie line corresponds to this operating line passing through this del D and del W passing through this f, when your equilibrium curve is concave downward. So, when we are asked to calculate minimum reflux ratios, we have to find that tie line, that operating line which is parallel, which coincides with this del W and del W line. So, this will gives us minimum reflux ratios. If we take this segment this by this will give us minimum reflux ratios. So, we can write minimum reflux ratio is maximum reflux ratio which will require an infinite number of trays for this separation. So, why this maximum reflux ratio here? Because there is a possibility that some other tie line, if you draw tie lines from here or several tie lines like this in this section or in this section, it is possible that this line which you are drawing here with WD through WD might coincide with this operating line. So, it is not necessary that the tie line has to pass through this F, but as we said that when the equilibrium curve is concave downward passing through this 45 degree, if the curve is like this, then most likelihood the operating line which passes through this F coincides with this tie line which passes through this F. In that case, this will give us minimum reflux ratios. Otherwise, there is a possibility that we have some other tie line which might give max reflux ratio greater than passing through this. So, that rarely happens when we have situation like non-ideality, azeotropic distillation, etc. So, for the time being, this is for our calculations. We are finding a tie line passing through this F, which is coinciding with del D and del W line with feed somewhere here. Okay. So, we will like to conclude today's sections with this reflux ratios, maximum and minimum reflux ratios. All right. So, we said that if we increase the reflux ratio, then QB, load on boiler, load on condenser increases. We have a large amount of liquid, large amount of vapor to make up for this. So, the pump requirement also increases. What decreases is number of plates. High reflux ratios, if you plot on x diagram, one can show. We will go in details when we take up the next method, McCabe-Thiele methods, that the driving force between the equilibrium curve and the operating line increases. All right. Here also you should be able to appreciate by construction that if del D increases or del W increase in the opposite directions, then we require minimum number of plates. Okay. So, by increasing the reflux ratios, we have two opposing costs. One is a fixed cost, one is the operating cost, and we talked about this optimum. And we have a limit, all right. At that limit is the infinite reflux ratios when we have minimum number of plates. And we talked about the second limit when we have R minimum, which gives infinite number of plates. Of course, that is a very abstract or theoretical concept. When we start decreasing this reflux ratios, there is a risk of operating line coinciding with the tie line, because the curve starts becoming less and less slant, and it hits or it becomes it falls on this tie line or equilibrium curve. That time driving force becomes 0, and this lesson will ultimately stop there. Okay. But still with these two reflux ratio, one can plot very nicely with. So, if you plot reflux ratios R to address this optimum reflux ratios, you can see that if you increase the reflux ratios, it goes to infinity very large, we have minimum number of plates. So, that is one limit, and there is a R minimum where we require infinite number of plates. So, we have the shape like this, okay. And equivalent to this, one can also plot R m over R m plus 1. So, similar curve, we were trying to represent different ways. 1, here we have 1, here we have this 1. In this case, we have this point here, which is R m over R m plus 1. So, it is a minimum reflux ratios, all right. So, we are plotting R over R m plus 1, excuse me. So, we have R over R plus 1. So, this corresponds to this point here, R m by R m plus 1, and we can have actually bounded curve like this going at 1 for infinite ratios. So, ultimately we have essentially the same curve we have plotted in a different ways. All right. So, this ends our discussion for marking salient points, salient coordinates for on HXY system, on HXY plot for top column reflux rectifying sections, and the bottom column is stripping sections, and the complete fractionator including reboiler and the condensers. We know how to get the maximum reflux ratios and how to get this minimum reflux ratios. In one case, when we had infinite reflux ratios, we had one analytical expressions which you can obtain. You can refer to the text, one can obtain analytically, we call it Fensky equations. All right. So, now the next class we will try to locate the exact location of feed here, feed plate, before taking one example. All right.